This podcast is being recorded on Kaurna land. We honour and celebrate the strong cultural traditions of motherhood, family and connection to country.
How Motherhood Changed Me is brought to you by Harrison Macmillan, Australia's leading recruitment firm run by women who live by values that make their mothers proud.
No woman can say motherhood hasn't changed her, but every mother's story is different.
It's so easy to dismiss fashion and style as frivolous, but I've had the privilege of working with so many women, and I just see time and time again how important this element of confidence and presenting ourselves to the world how we want to be seen, whether that's in a cool tracksuit or activewear with trendy sneakers, or just that great pair of jeans and a crisp shirt that fits our body shape to a T. It really just gives you that internal and external confidence, and the flow-on effect to the other parts of our lives, you know, how we interact with our family when we feel good about ourselves, how we show up in the workplace when we're feeling confident and comfortable. It's just mind-blowing and not frivolous at all, in my opinion.
This is How Motherhood Changed Me. Hello, I am Kerry Turner.
And I'm Jenny Yates, and I have no idea how to dress now that I'm a mum.
Rubbish.
Well, no, seriously, now that my pregnancy and breastfeeding days are behind me, all of my maternity clothes have been donated, Kerry. I am genuinely confused about what to wear, what works on my body, and what's even cool. So I have found this incredible stylist on TikTok. I straight away went across and followed her on Instagram. And it's like that scene from Mean Girls, you know, Caitlin wore army pants and flip-flops. So I bought army pants and flip-flops. On behalf of all the mums who don't have a clue, Caitlin Marwaha, thank you so much for being here and helping us out today.
Thank you for having me. And that Mean Girls reference has just made my day. I am going to take that to the bank.
Get a T-shirt. I'm Regina George.
Yes.
Now, Caitlin, you are a mum yourself. Before we jump into things, could you give us a word that describes who you were before you became a mum?
Oh, just naive in all senses of the word. I was young also, but yeah, naive.
How old were you when you became a mum?
25.
So
yes.
Were you a stylist before you became a mum, or was that something you got into afterwards?
Yeah, I was just working in retail. I mean, I was 25, so I had just graduated university. I studied international studies and politics, and I was going to
conquer
London,
the world. Yeah,
UN, like that was my plan. And then I was working for Lululemon, if you guys know the activewear brand.
Yeah.
And I was doing some store managing there, and then I met my husband, and suddenly I was not becoming a member of the UN anymore.
It's funny once you become a mum how things sort of reset, isn't it? And you kind of notice a shift in priorities and maybe your interests as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was absolutely wanted to be a young mum. I was ready to be a mum, and it was definitely a choice. But as I said, I was definitely naive about what everything entailed.
I think we all are.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Doesn't matter what age you become a mum. Yeah. We're all a little naive.
How many books you read. Well, how did you get into the styling then? Was that something that you sort of experienced yourself as you became a mum? I've spoken about this identity shift, Kerry. And
I remember it. I went through it as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely went through it. You kind of look in your wardrobe and go, oh, your work wardrobe isn't you anymore.
No.
But your maternity clothes aren't you anymore.
Going out clubbing clothes.
Yeah.
It's don't fit in those anymore.
And I think a lot of it is the identity crisis and also the physical. It's a two-pronged kind of attack of how we feel that we're quite lost, which we will probably get into. But for me, as I said, I was working in retail. I was quite young, so I didn't have a career. I feel like, if I was to have another baby now, I would have a set career that I would maybe take mat leave from my business and then come back to it. But I didn't have that experience. So I had my first daughter, Hazel, and then very quickly and unexpectedly fell pregnant with my second Alexander. So they're only 14 months apart because he was a preemie. So then it just like
Wow.
smushed that age gap even closer. And so I was 26, 27, didn't really have a career, had 2 kids under 2, said to my husband, this can't be it. Like, this can't be my life now, because he was still working in a traditional corporate role, going to the gym every morning, going off to work, coming home, and I was completely lost in my identity. So I was really searching for that career. I went back to retail for a little bit and realized that potentially my retail days were behind me. I didn't see the value in, I don't know, folding pants for a 6-hour shift, and that didn't make sense financially, and all of those things we weigh up. And so I was just really looking for something else to do as an extension to retail. I didn't really, think that I had never thought about styling before, and I just kind of stumbled upon it. So I enrolled in a course and took the course, and it absolutely wasn't a conscious decision, but I started to apply all the things that I was learning, all the technical things about body shape and coloring and things like that, applying it back to me, and completely unlocked my style and confidence. And then it was almost my own personal transformation that really gave me the bug to then build a business out of it.
Oh, so clever.
Yeah.
So clever.
Good on you for turning your passion into something.
Yeah, absolutely right. When did you start sharing it all on social media? You did the course, you did it for yourself and unlocked your style. At what point did you decide to take that step and start sharing your tips with everyone?
It was probably a couple of years into it. I started blogging. So if you remember when blogging was the first kind of step into social media, and I had a blog called the Mummy Style Files. It was that full mummy blogger era. And I was literally just sharing my outfits, and it was kind of like my self-expression. And as I said, I had 2 kids under 2. I was the primary caregiver in the house, but I would stay up late at night to upload my blog. And I feel like as a mum, when you make the time for something, whether it's sport or art or cooking or something that you love to do, if you can find the time amongst the chaos, that's a really big indication that that's a big passion for you. So I started probably when the kids were, I don't know, 2 and 1 or something, just sharing my outfits on a blog, and then that transitioned into Instagram. And
I mean, I found you on TikTok. I bet you get mums all the time, just like me, sliding into your DMs. Help me. But also like, thank you, because I don't have a clue. And you've made me realize that this one thing that I have, I can actually make it work with these 3 other things that I have. And I was only wearing it like this. And I don't know. That's what you've unlocked for me, Caitlin.
Yeah, and that's something that I'm super passionate about. My tagline is style made simple. When I was entering the world of personal styling, I really found that there's so much intimidation around working with a stylist, and particularly as a new mum or a woman going through some kind of transitional phase in her life. So I get a lot of new mums, a lot of mums kind of exiting out of new mum territory, and then also a lot of mums women going through menopause. So it's that real like vulnerable time in our lives when we have that shift. And it can be so intimidating to reach out to someone who looks glamorous or who seems to be easy for them, potentially a completely different body shape. So for me, I really wanted to take a lot of that BS away from approaching a stylist and really helping women just see, like, I can wear this 5 different ways, as you said. My version of this outfit might not be as glam, but I can still feel put together for me. So I'm really passionate about helping women find what that looks like for them, not just making 1,000 little Caitlins, taking on my personal style.
I suppose that's a bit of a hurdle for some women to perhaps get past mentally, is that you're not telling them you need to wear this. You're not trying to dress them. You're just helping them to unlock that creativity almost with their wardrobe, what they feel good in, what they like, what works, what doesn't work. Yeah.
And so that's like the biggest thing that I feel is that I always take it back to basics. So if any client comes to me, then we learn all the foundations. You know, what is your body shape? What are your proportions? What is your coloring? And then eventually, what do you want your wardrobe and style? What's your lifestyle? Because sometimes we just doom scroll on social media or see a girlfriend of yours, you know, wear this amazing top, and so you just go out and buy it because it looks great on them, but then we bring it home and then somehow it doesn't work on us. But a lot of women are missing the why behind that. Like, why can she wear yellow and I look better in red, or whatever it is? And so I really want women to feel really empowered in that knowledge, so that they know that they can go out and say, you know, Sarah looks amazing in red, but I know that I'm much better in a more muted color, or whatever that looks like.
Yeah. And there's a barrier as well with the cost. When you're a mum, there's that guilt, you know.
Spending money that you're not making.
And I think traditionally I would associate working with a stylist as, oh, I'll never be able to afford that. I'll never be able to afford what she suggests. But I feel like you do it in a really versatile way depending on someone's budget. I mean, you're saying sort of here's a more expensive version of this, or here's maybe a cheaper version. But I mean, I think I've seen you share as well, you can rock a Target jumper with some designer jeans maybe, and you know, it's very versatile to people's budgets,
yeah,
which we need as mums, because it is hard to sort of carve out that, oh, should I really spend that on myself?
And if you're going to end up with lunch all over you, you don't want to go and spend all the money.
Of course, yeah. And so a lot of the work that I do is in online programs, and I've got a really affordable membership program. It's $37 a month. I release a digital product to help you style pieces that you have in your wardrobe. That's $20. And then we have the course, which is a little bit more of an investment, but for sure the cost is a huge barrier, particularly for new mums. And yeah, more expensive clothes do not always equate to better, like more stylish or better quality. And it's just about finding, you can pretty much find any trend or any item at every different budget. So yeah, I'm all about rocking the Kmart here and there.
Yeah, and you know, Zara and Seed, and there's so many good sort of options.
Just really, yeah. And currently end of financial year sales.
Yes.
So now is the time to swoop.
And if you can't swoop now, there'll be another sale in another 3 months' time.
Exactly.
Like
the change of season.
It's crazy now. Once upon a time, it used to just be Boxing Day sales and end of financial year. Now it's spend and save, and I don't know.
It really
Black Friday
is.
Yeah.
Tell you what always gets me is the you know, free shipping over $200, and I might be at, you know, 110, and I'm like,
I'm not paying postage.
Girl math. I'm like, I'll get another jumper and I won't have to pay for shipping. Somehow I make it work in my brain.
We've all been there.
Which is great unless you then don't wear the jumper because it's not quite right, which is also lots of women are, you know, buying things and not wearing them.
You have mentioned a few times colour. So I have seen this trend everywhere, this colour palette trend. I've got no clue really, but hearing you talk about it today, it actually makes a lot of sense, because I bet that jumper that Kerry's wearing wouldn't look very nice on me.
You could try it.
Yeah. It's color season analysis has been around since the 80s, but it's definitely, like most things at the moment, having a big resurgence. Basically, it follows the seasons, so summer, autumn, winter, spring, and you're either cool or you're warm. And then you take your skin tone and your hair color and your eye color into consideration, and you end up in a season. And I teach that in my course, but I would never do it that in depth for someone who just wants to like feel good. Everyone's at a different level of how much information they're ready to receive.
Of course.
So I would never want like a new mom who just wants, you know, core wardrobe staples and something to make her feel good. I wouldn't want to put that pressure on her to stress about, can I wear this color or can I not? But women get to a certain point where they're ready to receive all the information, and then that's when I would do that deep dive with them. But it can for sure be so overwhelming. And I think that in the past, lots of technical styling knowledge like body shape and coloring has felt really restrictive. So women almost get this analysis paralysis then, where they want to shop, but then they don't want to get it wrong. So then they don't, and then they stay stuck in a rut.
Yeah, I feel like I sort of fit into that category at the moment. There's all these Gen Z rules that I'm reading about, and apparently I shouldn't wear these jeans. And
You're not Gen Z, it's okay.
The ankle socks, I know, but I don't want to stand out like
Ignore
a
them.
Here's where my sort of like fashion goal lies, right? I don't want to stand out either which way. I'd like to just sort of
blend in.
So I don't want to wear something that's going to make me look super dorky or super mum. And I don't want to really be, just find me something that makes me, does that make any sense at all?
It makes sense. It does make sense. Yeah, it does.
Yeah. And that's really like where you'd be leaning into your classics. Like you just want to make sure you've got a couple of great pairs of jeans, maybe a pair of trousers, a great skirt, a great dress, those basics, almost that like capsule, again, another buzzword, but that capsule wardrobe that you just know everything mixes and matches.
Yeah.
It's a decent color and fit on you, and you can, whatever occasion you have, whether it's a thing at the school or a date night with your partner or whatever, you've got something to wear. And I feel like when we have those missing categories in our cupboard is when we get thrown into a spin and we don't feel like we've got anything to wear, and then we're not going because it's too hard.
I actually have capsule wardrobe written down because I love the idea of that, and I love the idea of, not necessarily buying into the trends just to have it no longer be what you should wear, in
3 weeks'
in
time.
3 weeks' time. And, I'm very eco-conscious. I don't want to add to
fast fashion.
Yeah, I don't want to buy into any of that. But circling back to the colours, if we actually mindfully purchase, then perhaps we are buying something that's going to, stand the test of time for a little longer than,
One season.
Yeah. And so that's, we were talking about affordability before, and it's one thing to make things affordable, but also if you're looking for that longevity, maybe the knowledge and understanding what you need in your wardrobe also makes you feel a bit more confident to potentially spend a bit more money. If like, okay, I've seen Caitlin's talked about a trench coat, I kind of understand that I need a cooler tone or a warmer tone. I'm going to feel really good about potentially spending a little bit more money than I usually would because I know it's going to work in these, multiple ways. And so it's also about setting yourself up for long-term success so that you can feel good about your purchases.
Love that.
I actually, that's my approach to shopping. If I like it and it fits and it makes me feel good, then I buy it. I don't fall into the trap of, but it's not in fashion, or I don't know if that comes with age and not caring as much about what people think, but I very much am. I like that. I'm a colour person.
Yeah. You love colour and
love
sequins.
colour, love sparkles. If I see something in a shop, it fits me, it's an affordable price, I get it. I don't think, oh, hang on, now that's not really going to fit in.
But it's meant to be fun, isn't it, Caitlin? Like, it's not meant to...
Totally meant to be fun.
Yeah.
And I do think that does come with age and with confidence. And also potentially with a couple of wins behind you. So if you like to wear color, and then maybe you've had some compliments wearing color and you've noticed how it feels really good when you wear color compared to the days that maybe you wear black, then that all stacks up. It's like habit stacking with style. That all stacks up for the next time you want to buy another colorful item. You feel good in it. You know that it makes you feel vibrant. You know that you loved that one pair of jeans and now you're going to get them in a black. All of those little wins along the way help to build your confidence, and it just extrapolates over time, and you find yourself, as you just said, oh, I'm kind of comfortable and I'm kind of okay not to follow the trends, and I actually feel good making a quick decision in the change room, like, yeah, I like it, it fits, I'm going to buy it, great, moving on.
And
but if you're not there yet, it's also okay, because that takes time.
And I do have black in my wardrobe, but I find if I put a black dress on, I have the colourful earrings, or I'll wear coloured shoes. I cannot be head to toe black. I can't do it.
Yeah.
You see, and I look at that and I look at you and I just think, fabulous. Like, so why can't I get that for myself?
And jumpsuits are my other thing. I've got about 10 jumpsuits in my wardrobe. and I love them. I love wearing a jumpsuit.
Cool.
So comfortable.
But as we were saying before we started, it's a very different scenario, the stage of motherhood that you're at. So you've still got really young children. We've got slightly older children. It's just so different, the time and experience and how even your day looks to get to that stage. So it's definitely a work in progress.
Cut yourself some slack, Jen.
Well,
Exactly.
I want to spell out another one of my dilemmas for you. So I'm just going to furiously scribble down all your words of wisdom today, Caitlin. No, so, okay. Getting to the shops. I've got 2 kids home with me still. One full-time, the other one goes to childcare a couple of days.
Oh, yeah.
To get to the shops, okay, it's a lovely outing for us, but then I've got the pram and then he starts getting upset. So let's just scrap shopping in person.
Take me shopping with you. I can push the kids
you can
around in
push
the
him.
pram while you try things on.
All right, well,
Solved.
there's that facet of it, but also I don't love my body right now and I don't like standing in front of that mirror and I don't feel good. So if we're talking about feeling good, that doesn't make me feel good. So let's circle to shopping online. That never works either because I don't have the mental capacity to send something back when it doesn't fit. I don't know what things work for me at the moment. And it's just all too hard. Do you hear this a lot, Caitlin? I'm sure you do.
Yeah, 1,000%. And that's really where I found myself too, in that I had never really had an awareness of my body shape. I'm very tall and I'm very broad, and I never grew up knowing that there was any kind of correlation between things that would work really well for my specific body shape and things that wouldn't. So if I got it right, I was kind of lucky. And if I got it wrong, it was my fault. I was just why couldn't I wear that? I had no idea that there was a link between knowing a V-neck line is better for me, a wide pant is better for me. And I was just kind of following the trends and bumbling along. And that was all okay when I was young. And then I had 2 kids and my body changed again. And I was like, I've got no idea what to do. So very similar space that you are potentially in now. And I think it really comes back to investing in education first before you go and invest in the clothes. And that's why, all of my programs start with, these are the measurements you take, these are the 5 body shapes you can be, and not to make anyone right or wrong. It's literally just information. But then you're armed with that information to know, of course, that straight skirt's not going to work for me. So I don't even bother trying it on or putting it in my cart online. I know I'm looking for A-line. I know I'm looking for something with pleats or something with side pockets or whatever that is. So you can get rid of all the wrong choices first, because that's where we get really defeated and deflated, when we try and make everything work, but we don't have the knowledge that actually this section, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a win. So I really want to arm women with that information. But as I said, it comes you got to take a couple of steps back and figure out where you're at.
And stop blaming ourselves for, maybe I've got a little bit of a mummy tummy now, and that's
who we are now.
That's life now. And, I don't have to lose weight to feel better or look better in clothes. Because, I mean, I'm sure I'm not alone in that. That's what's in the back of my mind. Oh, well, you just need to work out more or whatever. And that's really exhausting.
Yeah. And it's that permission that you need to give yourself, that I deserve to look good and feel good in the clothes that I'm in now. Even if you're on a weight loss journey, or even if, down the track you want to get back into some of your other pieces in your wardrobe, that takes a long time. We all know, I hear it all the time, I'll join your course when I've lost 5 kilos. How long does it take to lose 5 kilos? And in that space of time, are you just going to feel crappy in the clothes that you have? Really, really giving ourselves the permission to feel good in the body that we're in now, to have a wardrobe that fits and flatters and functions for our life and our wardrobe and our body right now. And then when you get to that stage, we reassess and we know what to do, and we add some more pieces in.
I was given that advice 5-6 years ago. Dress how you need to feel. And I take that every morning into I'll put something on. Most of the time what I put on I stay in, but there have been days I'm like, I'm just not feeling this. I need to change the top or change the bottom half or something until I'm dressed for how I need to feel that day, whether it's I've got an important meeting and I need to feel really confident, or Kerry, you're only doing the school run. Dial it down a little bit.
Maybe no sparkles today.
Leave the sequins at home.
Totally. And I was going to say that when we're talking about black, because I'm someone that can only wear black when I'm having a great day. So if I'm wearing black, I'm feeling really good. But if I'm not feeling great, then I need that color to lift my mood. Whereas a lot of people, if they're feeling really flat and down, they think, oh, I'll just hide in black. Like I'll just put it on and I'll hide and whatever. But a lot of the time that makes us feel almost worse about ourselves as the day goes on. And it's just about having that knowledge about yourself. What is it that you need? And sounds like, Kerry, you've got, you're really dialed in, which is great.
Can we have a moment for our incredible partners, Harrison McMillan?
We love everything they stand for, Jenna, so let us share why this top recruitment firm decided to sponsor our podcast about motherhood.
Well, the name Harrison McMillan comes from their founders' mothers' maiden names, chosen to reflect their core belief to always conduct business in a manner that would make their mothers proud.
Their leadership team is female-led, and with 7 kids between them, they truly understand the act of balancing motherhood and work.
They're passionate about placing professionals, including working mothers, in roles that acknowledge and support their transition back into the workforce.
And they've seen firsthand how mums can smash productivity goals. There is truly no one more capable than a multitasking mum.
Harrison McMillan was started 11 years ago on the back of an idea and has grown into a well-respected agency with 30 employees.
They service over 500 clients all over Australia and are well known for their trustworthiness, accountability, innovation and people-first approach.
It's a match made in heaven if you ask me, Kez.
It is so important that your values align with where you work, and that's why your business should visit harrisonmcmillan.com.au.
I wonder if there's any really obvious no-nos. Is there anything that we can sort of take away from this chat that's a hard no?
Oh, I wish I could give you a blanket hard no, but it really depends. It depends on your
body shapes
shape and your colors. Because what's a no for me might be an absolute yes for you.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I know that's an annoying answer.
It's funny though, speaking of body shapes, and it must come again down to me just knowing now what works for my body. But when I would say to people, I don't just walk around introducing myself and saying, by the way, this is my body shape. But I'll point out to people that I've actually got a very small torso. And they're like, no, you don't. I'm like, no, I do. Have a look at this. My hip is here and my legs are long, but I've got this tiny short torso.
Interesting.
It's weird. And obviously I've worked out how to dress for that because people are often surprised when I point that out to them. It's weird. Body shape has such a huge part to play in what works and doesn't work. It really does. So what works for me, I don't think Jenna could come over and just pick something out of my wardrobe and it's going to work for you.
Yep.
I mean, you're welcome to try. Some sparkles.
Look, I need all the help I can get, let's be honest.
That's vertical proportions. So that's when you see, like we see it a lot with sisters or people who are, same height and similar size, and then it's like, why does that not work on her but works on someone else? And it's that vertical proportion. So do you have a short body and long legs, or a really long torso? Do you have a really short torso? So Kerry, maybe when you wear something high-waisted and tucked in, does it potentially look like, you've got boobs on legs?
Yes.
Whereas someone with a really long torso can do a beautiful high waist and a belt and it looks nice and in proportion.
I do the high waist, but I will not tuck anything in.
Yeah, because you don't have, I call it real estate. You don't have enough real estate there to make that look
is me.
It's funny. I actually never felt more beautiful and confident than when I was pregnant. And it's then straight away afterwards, I was like, well, and, spent a couple of years each kid basically just dressing in the comfies for easy access to the boob. And now all of that's behind me. The body's soft. I just wonder why it was pregnancy that made me feel confident, because it's obviously a body image thing for me. Does that Does that ring true?
Yeah, it's so varied. I was really uncomfortable pregnant. I felt like really exposed and like I was quite uncomfortable. But a lot of women in pregnancy, it's the one of the only times they feel really confident to rock something quite fitted,
Tight, yeah.
like show off the bum. And it's really interesting how that plays out. But yeah, I often hear women who have only ever been comfortable in pregnancy to wear more fitted things.
Yep.
And then post-pregnancy, when they do feel, like you said, kind of like soft and everything's not back in the right place yet, it's quite overwhelming.
My son told me the other day, I have the biggest bum ever.
Oh, thank you.
And he went,
Yeah.
blah, 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 and laughed.
And ran away.
So that was a bit fun.
Kids say the darndest things.
I know. It's like, it's because of you. I wonder too about throwing away any of our old clothes, because I might need to be making room in my wardrobe for new pieces and let go of some old things. When is it the right time, and how can we let go of things from the past that maybe are no longer working for us now?
I'm all for the wardrobe detox. I am very, very ruthless when it comes to getting rid of things in our wardrobe. I find that when we are struggling to get dressed, it's often because we have too much stuff. And if you're really in between sizes or in that transitional phase in your life, it's so common that we have things from 5 years ago, like pre-babies, in between pregnancies, random things from old corporate life that we used to have. And so when we're getting dressed in the morning and the majority of our wardrobe doesn't suit our body, our lifestyle, our personal style, getting dressed every day is a massive chore. And like, we have to get dressed every day. So if we're starting every day on the back foot, scrolling through things that don't fit or don't work or don't suit us, it's so defeating. And so that's why I am a huge proponent for the wardrobe detox. I think the biggest thing is, if you're not wearing it, if it doesn't fit, absolutely get it out. And then if it doesn't really suit you anymore, your personal style, that can be a little bit more subjective, right? You need to do a little bit more work on your personal style. But 100%, if it doesn't fit your body or your lifestyle, they're the first things to get out.
And I've just completed that. I've just done a massive cull.
Okay.
And have booked a rent-a-rack.
Oh, at a second-hand
place.
place?
Like a pre-loved, because my stuff's still, it's not quite just donating stage. It's good stuff. So, yep, the rack is booked. Tomorrow it gets dropped off. We'll see if anyone wants to buy it.
And have you found, since getting rid of lots of stuff, it's been easier to get dressed with less, which seems so counterintuitive. If you've got less, it's easier to get dressed, but it's so often the case.
It really is. Yeah, absolutely. I've now only got like 3 jeans, black, blue, and my purple ones.
Purple jeans, cool.
And, a couple of everyday dresses. I've still got my jumpsuits. I cannot part with any of those. And the T-shirts and shirts, and I've culled so much, and jackets that I don't wear anymore.
And you don't find yourself going, oh, wish I held on to that?
No.
I wonder if there's a trick with hanging up the hanger a certain way and then being able to look, come the next season. Actually, see, that hanger's still facing that way. I mustn't have worn that.
I haven't worn that, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one too. And you can check in 6 months, because also you've got seasonality, of course. So, you might not be wearing it now, but come summer, you're for sure going to wear it. So that's a good experiment. Or you can do a maybe pile. So the way that I do a wardrobe detox is yes, no, maybe. You take everything out, go through item by item, which sounds super overwhelming. But a yes is like an immediate yes, like would wear it tomorrow, have worn it recently, fits my body and my lifestyle, I like it. So all of those go back in first. And no is, again, an obvious no, like it doesn't fit, it's old, it's pilling, you would never wear it. That's, maybe I wouldn't even donate it, the definite no's. And then you've got the maybe pile, which is often the biggest. And that's I spend a lot of money on it and I feel really guilty letting it go, even though I haven't worn it. It doesn't fit me, but I really love it. It's got sentimental value, or I like the idea of it, but I can never quite make it work. So they're your maybes. And you take stock of how good it feels to have a wardrobe full of yeses first. And you might find that that's enough, or you might be like, I don't have enough in my yes pile to actually get dressed and be an appropriate human being. I'm going to have to go and live in a nudist colony. So we want to avoid that too. But then you can feed your maybes back in or keep them separate. And if you do find yourself wishing that you had it or finding that you want to reach for it, you can go back and get it. But if you find, and this is most likely the case, you don't touch the box for 6 to 8 months and you don't think about it again, it's out of sight, out of mind, then you might be able to give yourself the confidence to transition some of those maybes actually into no's.
I feel like this is really helpful.
We're booking a day.
We're booking a day.
I'll
and
take
we're
you to
booking
the
in with
shops.
Caitlin. I wonder that I'm sure you see a real confidence transformation too in the people that you help,
work
Caitlin.
with, yeah.
Can you talk us through any sort of cases and the difference you've seen in people?
Yeah, it's incredible and by far the most rewarding part of my job. Thanks to my online communities, I've worked with thousands of women, and our stories are so similar. Everyone's got kind of key stumbling blocks, but the internal confidence and the internal transformation is always far outweigh whether or not you move from a skinny jean into a wide leg jean. Like that's so secondary to the confidence. And I think it's just that putting ourselves first, giving ourselves permission to let go of who we thought we had to be or we used to be, and really stepping into the new era. And whether that's embracing a body that's maybe 2 sizes bigger than it's ever been, but loving ourselves sick, it's just incredible. I remember I had a member, Kylie, and she did my course and was in my membership and was there for about 6 months until she shared with the group that she never wore pants. She only ever wore a skirt or a dress because her ex-husband and a colleague had once flippantly said, you should never wear pants, you look much better in a skirt. And so many of us carry these style stories or these style projections. My grandma told me never to wear yellow, or all these kind of things that filter in. And so through the work that we did, she ended up buying a pair of jeans, which is so small. Got a pair of jeans, got the right pair of jeans for her body, figured out how to style them with her existing wardrobe, loved them. By the time that we had finished, she was wearing leather pants, graphic tees, tailored trousers, and she just had so much confidence. And again, the wearing the pants is so secondary, but it's that internal strength where she was no longer relying on others to tell her what she should wear or to give her permission. She just had all of that in herself. That story always sticks with me.
I love that.
Go Kylie.
Go Kylie.
That's so good,
But it's interesting that as you're finding yourself and this new role that you've entered into in motherhood, that how you dress can, I guess, reflect that, but also make or break like the way you feel. I've never really sort of paid heaps of attention to fashion, and now I probably realize why I don't feel very great about myself. But I'm hearing this and hearing how we can sort of reflect who we are. I love this.
Yeah. It's so easy to dismiss fashion and style as frivolous.
Yes.
And I think that those who have never been in the space or confident in the space or interested in the space can dismiss it quite quickly. But I've had the privilege of working with so many women, and I just see time and time again how important this element of confidence and presenting ourselves to the world, how we want to be seen, whether that's in a cool tracksuit or active wear with trendy sneakers, or just that great pair of jeans and a crisp, not white, we had to chat about white shirt, but a crisp shirt that fits our body shape to a T. It really just gives you that internal and external confidence, and the flow-on effect to the other parts of our lives, you know, how we interact with our family when we feel good about ourselves, how we show up in the workplace when we're feeling confident and comfortable. It's just mind-blowing and not frivolous at all, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that's the key, isn't it? It all comes down to confidence.
Yeah.
It's finding that confidence and owning that confidence.
And it's funny you say that because, you know, I've spoken about having my own, you know, baggage on how my body is at the moment. At the beach, when we're all at our most vulnerable, I'm not looking at anybody else. In fact, if there's somebody over there with beautiful curves and walking confidently, it makes me smile and it makes me, you know, think, wow, she's so beautiful. I never, ever look at anyone more harshly than what I look at myself. And I think, yeah, confidence in that way actually does make you look beautiful, doesn't it?
For sure. Yeah. And it also just allows you to move on with your day. You know, I talk about getting dressed every single day. That's what I do. And I'm always creating content around styling and things like that. But my wish and hope for the women in my programs is that you get dressed quickly and with confidence in the morning, and then you don't think about it for the rest of the day. Like, I'm the only one that needs to be banging on about matching your shoes and what accessories are you going to wear. But I want women to be able to just get dressed and go on with the rest of their day and do amazing things and feel great, but live their life. I think there's this misconception that if you're interested in style or you work with a stylist, it's the only thing that you think about, and you know, it's so important that every outfit is perfect, which is, it's not the case. It's just about eliminating that stress in the morning.
I like that.
You
guys can see me having a revelation.
It's all ticking over, isn't it, Jenna? All ticking over.
Well, you know, it's funny. I've shared about this online on our Instagram page. My very fashionable younger sister, who doesn't have any children, she came over to visit us. She lives interstate, Caitlin, and she came to visit us and said, you know, I think she noticed in me that I was feeling a little bit crappy about myself, and her and I went shopping and just bought a few pieces. And this is where I go wrong, because I needed her help to sort of tell me what to buy and what to wear. And there's only a few pieces, so, you know, I don't have really the sense of what to wear beyond that sort of formulation of it and into the next season. So that's where I need your help, Caitlin. But I went to school pickup a couple of times and I got a few compliments. And it was like, wow. And I shared about it online because, you know, I just, the frivolous comment probably rings true for me, because I'm like, oh, yeah, fashion, I don't care about that. But I do if I'm honest with myself. And if I'm honest with myself, it's because I don't feel good about it.
But how good did you feel?
I did.
When the other parents referenced how great you looked.
Yeah, I did. And they obviously noticed something.
And that's those little wins that we were talking about. You know, you'll remember, oh, when I wore that color, I got those compliments. And maybe then you'll buy another item in a similar color, or maybe when on the day that you don't feel like putting much effort in, you'll remember how good it felt when you were a little bit more put together. And they're the little stepping stones that help you slowly keep advancing.
Love that. Caitlin, I want to ask you too, because I saw you recently went to Australian Fashion Week, and I want to ask you from a personal level, like how cool was that for you in your career to be there?
Yeah, it was super cool. I predominantly work online. I'm at home most days, you know, creating content and working with members. And it was so nice to feel super inspired by Australian fashion. I really think whatever industry you work in, to keep feeding yourself that inspiration and keep the spark alive is really important. And I hadn't really experienced that on that level before. And so it felt like a big milestone, and also just really got my creative juices going to be in that space. It was a massive highlight.
Yeah, so cool. You looked fabulous. And I've just had another realization looking at the two of you. Caitlin, you're all accessorized up. Kerry, you talk about always wearing gorgeous earrings. I don't know if you have any on today.
I do, the little ones today.
But yeah, there's something that I could also sort of...
You've always got your necklace.
Yeah, but you know, that's something that I can, I guess, play around with as well.
Yeah.
That sort of makes an outfit, doesn't it?
For sure. I think one of my biggest legacies with my clients is a belt, because I'm a big belt wearer, and I feel like a belt makes a huge difference to outfits. So I can always tell when someone's been Caitlin-fied, they've got a belt and often a little bit of a tuck. But accessories, particularly jewelry, is a really nice way to elevate simple things, but also to ease in slowly, because you could just have your same t-shirt and jeans, but you could add a belt, or you could play around with a necklace stack, and it doesn't have to be expensive to start with. You can really get it affordably and just see, am I going to reach for it every day? Do I feel any different when I pop these things on? And I think sometimes dipping our toe in is a little easier than doing a huge wardrobe overhaul.
Oh, so good.
Lots of takeaways.
Caitlin, amazing. I am going to put all the links into the show notes for all of the programs and the courses and all the stuff that you offer. You also share a lot on social media, can I say? So if you're not already following Caitlin, make sure you are, because just your daily looks also kind of give me little ideas. So we love that about you. We're going to check you out, and the links will be in the show notes as well.
We'll all be there. Now, Caitlin, before we let you go, at the very start, naive was the word you gave us for who you were before you became a mum. Is there a word that you would use to describe yourself now that you are a mum?
I would probably bring up the word that we've used a lot today and say confident.
Yay.
Yes.
I kind of knew you were going to say that, but I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
So good.
And that's just time and experience and self-confidence, I think, that then makes me confident in all other aspects.
Yeah.
And you're killing it, girl. We love it. Thank you so much for your time today. You've been very helpful.
We're going shopping.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you so much for joining us on How Motherhood Changed Me. We'd love you to be part of the conversation by connecting with us on social media. And if you enjoyed this episode, please rate, review and subscribe.